Alexander Forbes will list on the Johannesburg Securities Exchange later next month after delisting from the JSE almost 7 years ago. Well, company CEO Edward Kieswetter joins us now for more. Edward, congratulations, I think I should be saying, on the relisting. But if you move us or discuss and elaborate on the involvement now of a 34% stakeholder who comes from the US, the kind of innovation or change that they might bring.
Yeah, so first of all, I think it's a great vote of confidence both in our organization, Alexander Forbes, but also in South Africa as an investment destination. And clearly for them, for Mercer, it's the attraction of the emerging market action through a company that is well reputed and established. And for us, it gives us, first of all, access through the institutional investment into their global footprint, which brings a rich tapestry of experience and other knowledge and talent, which quite frankly it just enhances our value proposition to our clients.
Why relist though? You guys were on the market for just over 10 years and you delisted, as we said, in 2007. Why do you need to relist now, particularly when you've got Marsh & McLennan with that 34% stake?
Well, I think first of all the delisting in 2007 was as a result of the taking private by the private equity consortium, and so that was what triggered the listing. Now we had to find an orderly way for the current shareholders to exit their investment. And when the board mandated me 18 months ago to start the process, it was in fact to consider all options. So we did, as we had publicly announced, considered everything from a straightforward traded sale by a local or international player through to a vanilla listing. And where we found ourselves, I think, as a result of having gone through the process, is in fact the best of both worlds, where we get the benefit of a long-term investor with the international ilk of Mercer, and we give South African and international asset managers an opportunity to invest into a great company.
Yeah, it was interesting. I had the same conversation with Piet Mouton from PSG, and he said their view in the PSG group, because they've now listed, I think it's 4 different subsidiaries with a PSG consult last week, is that Usain Bolt runs much faster in front of a packed grandstand than he does in practice. Do you think it's the same thing with you, that you're going to sharpen up a little, that you are listed?
I think the dynamics do change. So the dynamic during the private equity consortium, which was beneficial to us, is the close involvement of your shareholder through a private equity holding has sharpened our pencils in terms of a stronger bias for execution, clarity of intent, but also around managing our cash and being very close to the cash, in fact. So those disciplines, I think, have made us fitter and stronger. And we are under no illusion that in a listed environment where we have other shareholders, we would have an accountability to them, and we will take the lessons learned out of being private, which brought us some space and patience capital, and clearly we now have to run as fast as Usain.
You'll be with us every 6 months at least, and then you do deals. You'll be in different times. This Marsh that's got a big head office in Johannesburg, in Sandton, is that the same company? Do they have a big presence here already?
So let me explain. The New York-based organization is a group of companies called Marsh McLennan, MMC, and there are 4 subsidiaries. Marsh is one, and that's the international risk broking business. Then Mercer, which is their consulting, employee benefits and investment business that mirrors ours. Then they have Guy Carpenter, which is a reinsurance broking business and tailored risk solutions. And then they have Oliver Wyman, which is a business that does consulting, much like your big consulting firms. So the organization that we are aligning with through this investment is Mercer. And they have taken the interest.
Do they have a presence in South Africa?
There's an entity called Mercer Africa, which is a subsidiary of Mercer International.
How big are they?
They're not very big, they're small, and which is why the investment in Alexander Forbes creates a wonderful platform for them to accelerate their interest in Africa.
So potential synergies between the two.
Wonderful synergies, yeah.
So you'll be driving not only your own agenda, but also a big part of a massive international group based in New York.
Well, clearly their interests are aligned with ours, and therefore when we do well, they will do well.
Just one last thing, do you miss the days with Pravin Gordhan at SARS?
You know, it's interesting, I always get asked that question, Alex. I will always miss the role at SARS and working with great leaders like Pravin and Trevor, and our current minister, Nenen Shranshla. And I will always miss that. I do think, though, that there are elements of my job now which has allowed me to grow and to make a different and a bigger contribution towards the overall wonderful tapestry of Mzansi.